right, so last week, Hollywood cheaters were front and center. This week, it's Hollywood splits.
Oh, yeah, we're talking Tom and Giselle, Tia and Corey, and dramatic new allegations involving Brad and Angelina.
Yeah, so this morning, we're going to take a closer look at what's at stake in these splits, from domestic violence claims to cheating accusations to the challenges of handling competing careers, because even though this is going on in Hollywood, it can hit close to home for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, here to help us out is top Washington divorce lawyer and podcast host, Tracey Coates. Tracey, good morning again. How are you?
Good morning, ladies. I'm doing well. How are both of you?
We're good. We're good. So listen, let's talk about this here because let me get on this side of here. Because it seems like this has just been a week of heartbreak and marriages ending. Talk to me about Brad and Angelina. What are you seeing in terms of the headlines other than it being just messy?
Well, you know, if even a small portion of those allegations are true, particularly in light of the presence of children, I'm heartbroken, because nobody deserves to be treated like that, and nobody should be made to witness those types of behaviors. But if we step back for a moment from the allegations and we sort of pull back the curtain, at the core is a child custody dispute. And that is likely the reason why after 6.5 years, their divorce is not yet final. And it will continue to go on that way until there is some sort of resolution. What I share oftentimes with my divorcing clients is that custody disputes are often the most difficult, they're the most expensive, and they're the most emotional. Because unlike a division of assets, which actually is at play here as well, as you know, they are going back and forth over a multi-million-dollar winery that they once both owned together. At the end of the day, the division of assets is more like a business decision. It's about crunching the numbers to see what makes the most sense, unlike in terms of a custody division. I recently represented a client in a custody matter, and her spouse not only told her, but told multiple other people that they had no interest in settling this case because they wanted to make that person pay in court. And so a lot of times custody issues during a divorce are sort of like a grenade, and a pin in a grenade. And when you pull it out, it can be explosive.
Let's talk about Tom and Giselle, because I think everyone can pretty much see at the heart of this matter is we've got two competing careers. You know, you have Giselle saying, you know, hey, look, I put my hopes and dreams aside for quite some time. You said you were going to, now you're not. Okay, deal's off.
Right. You're absolutely right. I mean, we often see couples with competing careers, particularly here in the DMV, because so many people have such high profile marriages and careers, and they're absolutely no different. As you said, Giselle's a high paying model. Tom is a very decorated and high paying quarterback. And now we're getting to the point, because oftentimes I see both in my life coaching practice and in my divorce practice that one party has to sort of step back and make sacrifices for the good, not only of the relationship, but also for the family. But the struggle comes into play when the other individual, who has oftentimes step backs, decides, when is it time for me to put myself and my life and my priorities at the top, and sort of how to navigate that issue and what steps to take next.
Now, Tracey, with these last two couples that we talked about, there were some rumblings, some rumors about a divorce ahead of it becoming officially public. This last one, Tia Mowry and Corey Hardick, caught a lot of people by surprise because we just hadn't heard of any drama beforehand. What do you make of this news?
Well, you know what? I kind of like that we didn't hear any drama beforehand, because it's a very personal marriage, as we all know, relationships. And what I actually liked that Tia did is that at the onset, she said that she and Corey are going to be cooperative co-parents together to raise their children, because they are the most important things to them. And so, like a lot of celebrities, she does have the access to millions of followers. So she was able to sort of share and to shed some light on the personal decisions that she and Corey had made. Now, I will say, though, for people like you and me, I wouldn't necessarily play out my most intimate details and personal happenings on social media. But as you know, for celebrities, they sort of get to do things a little bit differently.
Well, so I'm curious, in any of those cases, specifically, let's say Tia, do you think this is the end of what they should be sharing? And what she shared, could she have even gotten away with not sharing that at all?
Oh, absolutely. I think that she could have gotten away with not sharing anything at all and having their people put out a joint press release or something to that effect. I would say that if there's anything negative, I always tell people when you are either writing an email, a text message, or posting on social media, you always have to think about it with an eye of a third party, usually a judge who's going to witness what it is that you've written. So I would say right now that they need to sort of put things back together between the two of them so they can go on and be successful co-parents to their children and let everything not play out on social media.
But don't you think people, let's bring it down to like the regular person. Sometimes they just can't help themselves, Tracey, you know what I mean? And then they start putting out these cryptic messages on social media or sayings about life and everything. Or they're being really hateful in their text messages to each other. All of that can be called into play, right? When it comes time.
Every single bit of it can come into play. And that's why I always share with clients, do not write anything you do not want somebody else to read, and it will come back usually and kick you in the butt, if I may say so. Because you're absolutely right. A judge is going to look at what it is that you're writing, and perhaps you're writing it at the height of your emotional stress, at the height of things falling apart. And what you said on that particular day will unfortunately follow you throughout the entire litigation process. And it may be something that in the moment that you got carried away and caught up with, but now you're sort of not only being faced with negative backlash, but it may not even be the way that you feel at the moment.
So the takeaway here is keep it in the drafts or send it to a friend.
Exactly. Or send it to your lawyer and we will review it first and then have you go out and send it.
Even better, even better.
Except for that you get billed for that time.
Well, there's that. Tracey Coates, always good to have you on. Thank you so much for the tips and insights. Appreciate it.
Yeah, really good. Appreciate it.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much, ladies.
Thank you. There's all Tracey's information if you need a divorce lawyer.
There you go.
Or maybe just some great advice.